Hello, my name is Cormac Anderdingus. Today I'm going to tell you a story on how my favorite video game franchise ruined my life. I was still in school when the first Five Nights at Freddy's game came out. Everyone was playing it, and even my favorite YouTuber Markiplier uploaded a video on it. I heard my friends talking about it, and, wanting to fit in, I tried to get the game, but it cost too much. In my desperation to experience Five Nights at Freddy's, I stole my grandfather's, Tabernacle, credit card loaded with his disability money to purchase the game. Now, I knew Steam would send a confirmation email to his computer, so to avoid that I purchased the game from a shady website called legitfnafcompany.com. I never should have done this. As the order was confirmed, I rubbed my hands together excitedly. I could finally experience Five Nights at Freddy's. The next few years were a blur. My grandfather fell in the shower while attempting to pleasure himself and had to come under our supervision 24/7 after losing a small portion of his skull in the incident, kind of like the bite of 87. More Five Nights at Freddy's games came out, and I kept using Tabernacle's disability money to purchase them. I feel bad thinking back at it, but what's done is done. I became obsessed with Five Nights at Freddy's. I was skipping school to play the games. When I would beat one I would move into the next, and when I reached the latest game the cycle would continue. I also started buying Funko Pops and plushies of the characters, even becoming romantically interested in them. By this point Five Nights at Freddy's sister location had released. I was big and fat from sitting around all day playing Five Nights at Freddy's. When I wasn't playing Five Nights at Freddy's I was watching my favorite YouTubers play it. My family became estranged with me from my obsession with Five Nights at Freddy's. Even Tabernacle had something to say about it. Of course he still didn't know that I was stealing his disability money. This is the part of the story where everything went horribly wrong. That day, my parents were upset at me because I skipped school to consume more Five Nights at Freddy's media, and banished me to my room. They also found my stash of Five Nights at Freddy's plushies with holes in them because they were moldy and smelled like shit, but what they didn't understand was that it was a Five Nights at Freddy's reference to how there were reports of the animatronics having a foul smell come from inside the suits. All this scolding was getting to my head. I stormed into my room and began playing the first Five Nights at Freddy's game, back to where it all began. It was therapeutic seeing the original gang back together. I sighed and rubbed my big fat belly contentedly. I was having a great time when it happened. I heard Tabernacle shout,
"Cormac Anderdingus,"
from the bathroom. My heart sank. While browsing videos in the tub on his phone, he checked his email for some reason, and there he discovered the order confirmation emails for the toys and games. It turned out the shady website still sent an email. I couldn't believe it. I heard the water from the tub begin draining and I started stressing, but I was on night 5 at 4 a.m., and I couldn't let the high go from playing Five Nights at Freddy's. Right as I reached 5 a.m., Tabernacle kicked open my door, completely nude and soaking wet. The game was intense, but I peeled my eyes away just in time to see my hairless, moist, naked grandpa charging at me with his phone in his hand, screaming at me.
"You retarded furry-loving fat piece of shit,"
he said. I forgot to mention that he had seen me playing Five Nights at Freddy's before, and called the game gay and cringe. He hated Five Nights at Freddy's. I was startled. I brought my hands up to defend myself. I accepted that Tabernacle had finally discovered that I had been using his disability money to purchase Five Nights at Freddy's games and toys. He stepped closer to me with his arms outstretched. As he was about to grab me, he stepped on my Foxy Funko plush. The semen inside of it caused him to slip, and I watched in horror as he fell forward. It was like the bathtub incident all over again, except he hit the corner of my desk and bashed his head open. Blood was everywhere. He let out a deep primal scream as he laid on my floor. Bleeding and completely naked. I didn't know what to do. I staggered back and slumped against my bedroom wall. And then, it happened. A beam shot out from my computer screen and found its way to my naked grandpa's still conscious form. I watched with my mouth agape. The beam was a bright blue color and covered Tabernacle's body entirely. A loud whirring sound filled the room as he was lifted up into the air, and he screamed in agony. The beam became brighter. So bright that the room was filled with an unbearably bright bluish-white light. I covered my eyes and everything died down. When I looked back up, Tabernacle was being sucked into the computer. I wanted to help, but before I could reach the computer a burst of energy flung me backwards onto the bed. Everything was silent. Then the Five Nights at Freddy's victory chime erupted as the 6 a.m. animation played. I was horrified and confused. The game cut to black, and I saw Tabernacle in the video game, with his head down and standing in front of the 4 animatronics. Blood dripped from the robot's empty eye sockets as Tabernacle looked up. His eyes were hyper-realistic and red, and he pointed his finger at me through the screen. He started to speak, but the 4 animatronics attacked him and dragged him to the ground. I gasped and darted toward the computer. I unplugged it and stood there, sobbing. Five Nights at Freddy's had sucked my grandpa into their world, presumably torturing him for hating the game. All that was left of Tabernacle was his phone on the floor, playing videos. Still to this day everyone believes that Arthur Tabernacle went missing. Investigators theorize that the combination of his medication and his brain injury from the bathtub incident caused him to run away in a manic episode. Only I know the truth. My grandpa's soul is stuck in Five Nights at Freddy's. I'm sure you're wondering why I'm telling you this story, and that is because I have disturbing news. When the incident occurred, I ripped my computer out of the wall and stuck it in my closet. I threw a towel over it and never touched it again out of fear that Tabernacle would haunt me. Recently I went on vacation with my family and left my room unattended for 2 weeks. When I came back, I made a horrifying discovery. The computer was gone. I thought maybe something supernatural had occurred, but it was then that I noticed multiple things were missing, primarily electronics and jewelry. A window was also broken, and my family found several of their items missing too. It turned out that we had been the victims of a home invasion. The robbers had taken the computer, haunted with the soul of my dead grandpa. Somewhere out there, there is a computer plagued with the soul of Arthur Tabernacle. So please, if you see this man in your FNAF save, delete the game immediately.